Welcome to another edition of the Sundown Series, where today we will be highlighting a rather infamous or rather famous location in Missouri, and that is Ferguson, Missouri. Now, everybody, for the most part, if you were born within the last 20 years, will know why Ferguson, Missouri is so popular, and not in a good way. Now, I didn't know Ferguson was or had a sundown town history, but based on what happened with Mike Brown back in 2014, I can honestly say that definitely is not surprising, to say the least. And interesting, when I typed in Ferguson, Missouri into the search bar of Google, these are the images that came up, which all goes back to the Mike Brown murder by Darren Wilson back in 2014. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Ferguson is a city in St. Louis County, Missouri, United States. It is a part of the greater St. Louis metropolitan area. The population was 21,203 at the 2010 census. What is now the city of Ferguson was founded in 1855 when William B. Ferguson deeded 10 acres of land on the Wabash Railroad in exchange for a new depot and naming rights. The settlement that sprang up around the depot was called Ferguson Station. Ferguson was the first railroad station connected directly to St. Louis. The station is a focal point of the city's history and depicted on the city's flag, designed in 1904. Ferguson's first schoolhouse was built in 1878. Ferguson was incorporated as a city in 1894. Emerson Electric moved its headquarters to Ferguson during the 20th century. Until the 1960s, Ferguson was a sundown town where African Americans were not allowed to remain after nightfall. Ferguson made frequent worldwide headlines for months following the 2014 killing of Michael Brown Jr. by police officer Darren Wilson and the ensuing civil unrest. The United States Department of Justice investigation which followed resulted in a large legal fees for the town in excess of $300,000 a year. The city now has a higher sales tax, utility gross receipts tax, and franchise tax for 2017 to 2018 to generate more revenue. Ferguson elected its first female mayor, Ella Jones, on June 2nd, 2020. Their population actually dropped since 2010 from 21,203 to 20,525. Let's see here. The racial makeup of the city is 67.4% black, 29.3% white, 0.5% Asian, 0.4% Native American, 0.4% from other races, and 2% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race is 1.2. This is the first Sundown Series video that I've done where the black population exceeded everybody else. And I'm sure anybody will tell you that Ferguson, I'm sure, is, of course, based on these stats, a majority black city. Now, what's crazy is they said that the population in Ferguson back in 1970 was 99% white and 1% black. But they said in 1980, the proportion of white residents went down 85%, whereas the proportion of black residents rose 14%. And in 1990, residents of Ferguson who were identified in the U.S. Census as white comprised of 73.8% of the total, while those who identified as black made up 25%. In 2000, 44.7% were white and 52.4% were black. So as you can see, it was a huge shift. It almost seemed like it was white flight. Like they kind of, you know how white flight worked. You know, they leave, go to the suburbs, and the black population in whatever area they left rises up. And that's basically what happened. But like I said, this is the first Sundown Series that I've covered where the black population exceeded that of the white population. And racism, as you can see, it was still flooding through there. But yeah, I thought it was very interesting that I typed in Ferguson, Missouri, and these were the first images that came up. I was not, like, you got to remember, I comprised this list of towns like 2 years ago. So, it's easy for me to forget what towns I'm going to talk about. So when I saw Ferguson like pop up just now before I made this video, I was like, wow, this is going to be very interesting, and the imagery is going to be interesting as well. And it looks like I was right on both fronts. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. If you have not done so already, make sure that you text the number that is pinned down in the comments below to receive notifications every time I upload a new video or go live.